It's news time. Information is power. The current. The news headline. Nnamdi Kanu gets VIP treatment from our facility. DSS denies IPOB allegations. The news in full. The Department of State Services has boasted that the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is being given a very important processing treatment and its custody, contrary to claims by the leadership of the group that he is being denied basic needs. The public relations officer of the DSS, Dr. Peter Afunaya, made the clarification at a World Press Conference in Abuja on Tuesday, where Afunaya said that contrary to IPOB's claim, Kanu is being given all that he needs and has never been denied change of clothes and practice of Jewish religion. Afunaya said that on IPOB and the alleged ill treatment of its detained leader, the service has, without any fear of contradiction, applied restraint in making public statements over the matter. The reason is simply because it avoids joining issues, especially over a matter that is sub-judice. But for the sake of transparency and democratic accountability, the service has decided to make some clarifications. The service denies all inciting allegations by the IPOB and states that Nnamdi Kanu is not in any way maltreated in the custody, and that accusations of maltreatment negate the service standard operation procedure on the implementations of the right of a suspect. Nnamdi Kanu enjoys full luxury in the holding facility incomparable to any of its type anywhere in the country. He is accorded full rights and privilege. He is never denied his rights or worship or freedom for his select religious practice. Adequate attention is paid to Kanu's health. He has unhindered access to the best medical care and doctors. Kanu himself was confirmed to his visitors that the service has never in any way maltreated him. He even confirmed this to the quartet of senators like Ikwerimadu and Iyinaya Abaribe, Bishop Sunday Unoha of the Methodist Church, Nigeria, and co-chair Interfaith Dialogue Forum for Peace, and Ambassador Kechuku Emuke, MFR Secretary General Waneze Indigo, who saw him on Wednesday, 8 December 2021. The story of Kanu being stabbed is fallacious. He could not have been stabbed as he enjoys meals of his choice. That he is not allowed change of clothing is also false. He is regularly allowed change of clothing as against what is presented to the public by IPOB propagandists. Assuming that he is being maltreated, how come his visitors told him he was looking well? All allegations of violations of his rights as a suspect, victimization and starvation amongst others, are not true. It is unfortunate that some elements have decided to use outright misinformation to represent the state of affairs, and those who make these false stories do so to attract undue attention for the singular purpose of achieving a desired end. Rather than focus on how he should get justice, Kanu's legal team and some mischievous elements amongst others have chosen to use fake news to mislead the public. While the court, in its wisdom, ordered that Kanu be remanded in the Seva DSS custody, some of his legal representatives, for reasons best known to them, preferred Kuje prison and have failed to explain the rationale for such choice. It may interest the public to note that a particular lawyer amongst Kanu's team is feasting on the matter such that one can conclude that his interest is beyond getting justice for his client. And be that as it may, the court has the final say on this matter and has given the directives that Kanu should receive the most comfortable treatment of which has been provided to him as from the time of this order.
He should be allowed to change clothing, and in a statement signed by the lawyer, he noted that the hearing there was a total absence of security operatives in the court and around the outer perimeters, as was the case during previous proceedings. Also, Ejimako stated that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not in court and there was no officer from the Department of State Service to explain why. However, what he surmised, both the court and the DSS might have concluded that his presence in court was not strictly required in the sort of application that was moved in court today. The lawyer also claimed that the court did not grant Kanu's legal team the leave to move the application challenging the rejection of the court to continue their trial. The statement further read that recall that we had filed such application arguing that the extraordinary rendition of Kanu constitutes a constitutional barrier for his trial. The court ruled that the application was not calendared for hearing today, that it would be heard in the next adjourned date. The court, after going through what it said is a tight judicial calendar, moved the date of the next hearing backwards from 19th to 18th January 2022. The court ruled that it will entertain all outstanding applications at the next hearing date and proceed to make following orders. The Mazi Nnamdi Kanu be given maximum comfort possible in the detention facility, that he be allowed a change of clothing. And this was the conclusion at the emergency sitting that they had for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which we know that for quite a while now has been at the DSS facility awaiting trial for treason, felony, and also terrorism charges. And during times wherever Mazi Nnamdi Kanu presents himself at the court, there is always a heavy security presence, there, so as to ensure, the needed and the DSS. Although there has been complaints from the lawyers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and also well-wishers and the IPOB members that the people are actually hindered from accessing the courtrooms, and also heavy security presence around, to threaten, and scare people off the environment. And the lawyer says that in this case of emergency meeting, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not brought to the court at all, and there was no security agencies to explain why, because their presence as well was not there. However, it has been said now that the court has said that they would not be listening to the plea of the legal counsel of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who had said that the case as at now was not, the court does not have the jurisdiction to continue that trial, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was unlawfully extradited from Kenya back to Nigeria, and by that virtue the court was not supposed to attend to such a case by trying Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because of that unlawful extradition of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria. However, the court had said that this emergency sitting was not meant for this particular case, and that it will be heard in the next trial, and also said that the court said that they will be checking into these applications whenever in the next sitting, and I said that the only thing that the court had actually emphatically placed mandate on is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be granted good comfort in the detention facility, should be able to change his clothes as when due, and be given proper care in the DSS facility.
Thereafter appointed Governor Buni to head the Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee (CECPC), and he was immediately sworn by the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation (AGF), Abubakar Malami. While addressing party leaders at the meeting, President Muhammadu Buhari had called for the immediate suspension of all pending litigations involving the APC and its members.